Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial. I want to make this video really short and sweet. Now, when you build software, you have at least three different layers. One is your data layer where your data, your models match exactly what is in the database. So if you have a user table in the database, you also have a user struct or something that represents that data. Then you have a processing layer, which is when you get data from the user, you process that data, or when you fetch something from the database, you process that data. So sometimes it is called the controller. Then the third layer is your view, which is presentation layer. Now, your view is what you show to the user or what you return to an API. It can be a JSON, it can be plain text, it can be XML, it can even be like a PDF. All right. So at least you have three different layers. So what is the problem? In Go, and not just in Go, but most new programmers or even experienced programmers tend to make the mistake of when they take data from database, that data is returned directly to the front end. So I want to show you where the problem is. So let's start by creating a simple program that demonstrates this problem. Even if you don't want to code along, you can just watch this video to enjoy what I'm about to show. As you can see, I use Go 1.22. There is nothing special here, just a plain project file. So let's go ahead and create a main.go file here. And this is our main.go file. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is to create like a server mux. There is a reason why I'm creating a new server mux. So we are going to create a simple API that demonstrates the problem. At the moment, I'm going to start our server, which is http.listen and serve. Let's listen on port. I think we can listen on port 80 or something like that. Then we pass the mux. This is the standard way of doing things. At this point as well, maybe we can print something to the screen. All right, so far nothing tricky here. All right, let me add another package called, let's add a model package and call models. Then let's add a user. Wow. Here, so imagine you have a user table in your database. So you are going to have a user struct, right? We have an ID, which is int. We can have a first and last name, both of them strings. Right, that's the user. Okay. Then we're going to have another package called, let's say, repository. And we can have the user repository, for instance. Type user, right? And nothing special here. This can be an interface or anything, but let's keep it straight. Let's keep it simple for now. And I'm not going to do anything here. Basically, what we are going to do is to say new. We are going to return a pointer to this. Okay, so this is just a constructor for us, return new. All right, here then, let's add one method, just one method. I'm going to call it P. Find by ID, something like this. ID will be int, and we are going to return models.user, because at this point we want to, like, if you have your database connection here, SQL.db, for instance. You can use it to fetch the data from database, do the mapping and return it, right? But here we are going to return models. Just something simple, an ID and first name. It's going to return John Doe. There's nothing. Okay. All right. So this is our repository, and how do we use it? Anyway, let's go to, we add another package called handlers. So this is the user handler type, user handler struct. Very similar approach, but this time around, I'm going to do repo, user repository. Okay. I'm going to make it a pointer. Don't worry, just bear with me, have patience. I'm going to show you the problem soon. And we need to return this. So we take this repository and we return repo. Okay. Now the handler, I'm going to add just two methods. So let's start with the get user method. So let's start with this func h get user. This is plain HTTP handler response writer, which is what we need here. Response writer, and then a pointer to http.request. Right? Nothing special here. So how do we get the user? We need to get user. User is coming from h.repo.findById. Let's pass 1 here. Normally, there's some error checks and all that, but I'm skipping all that just to save us some time. Then the next thing we are going to do, maybe because I want us to write JSON, let's write set content type. Content type to application. People this is why most people just copy and paste, but I don't like to do that. And we are going to write, maybe for this, since we don't have it in bytes, we can add let's go and add a method to turn it to bytes, okay? This one, let's go back to this place. This is the model. So I'm going to add a func user. This is just a helper method. I like to do this. So byte slice JSON dot marshal. Where am I going to marshal the U itself? No, this is supposed to be U. Okay. If we have an error, we want to return near, which is the beauty of slices. Else, we are going to return the byte slice. So that means if we go back to our handler, we should have this written as written at the bytes, All right, so what next? We can try to display this on the screen. So let's go and let's do something here. This is the user handler. I'm going to add one more method. Let's call it register. Let's take a mux, http.servermux. This arrangement is very modular. Sometimes you want to have all your stuff in the same place, so you can have. So I'm going to say server this h.getUser. So this is it. When you come to main here, we can do what? We need a repository. So repo new user repository. It doesn't take any argument, so we have that. User handler, new user handler. If you remember, the new user handler takes the repository as an argument, so we can pass it the repo. I'm going to name it repo. Okay. What next? We need to register the route. So user handler.register mux. That means we have a slash. In here, we have a slash user now. Okay, so let's go to the browser. I'm going to just do bash because I have some autocompletes that I don't want to. Go run this package. Right, so let me bring my browser over there. Bring my browser. It's 8080/user. And as you can see, is there a way to make this bigger? Yeah, you see, we have the ID, first name, last name. But here's the problem, and this is what we are going to discuss. This model, you are exposing this data, which is coming directly from the database. Just think about this like this. Let's stop the server. You are exposing your model to the presentation layer. So let's say the business requirements or the business team come back to us and say, on the presentation layer, we don't want first name, last name. We just want a name. So what do? If you come here to change from first name, last name to name, for instance, it means you have to go and change also your repository. But the data is in your database. Imagine you have 1 million users. You definitely don't want to do this. So what you want to do is to keep this separated from the view. So we come here again, and it depends on where you want to do this. You can do it directly in here. So maybe we come here and we can say DTO, for instance. And in this place, we can say type user DTO or whatever. If you are, for example, you can have a create user request that is a struct or whatever. So let's say view user struct. And here we are going to have name, we are going to have ID. If you want, you can do the JSON autofill. I can do the autofill to make it look all lowercase. All right. So this is our presentation data. It has nothing to do with the front end. It has nothing to do with what is sorry, let me say it. It has nothing to do with the database. It's only about presentation. So what do I want to do here? First, I need to, the same thing that I've done here, where is the model? I need a way to convert it to, I can do something like this here again. View, all right? And if I want, I need a mapper. I can add another model here. Let's say, or add another method here. Say, maybe no, not a method. Let's add a function. Say new view user from model. Okay. Then we're going to take the model here, which is going to be models.user. This is very specific, but this is what we are returning, so don't forget that. And we do the mapping here. In Go, this manual mapping is normal, is what you do all the time. So here you fill your ID in, m.id, and name would be, I can say m.firstname, m.lastname. Okay, let's see why this is not compatible. Int and string type, so we need to change this to an int. All right. So this is very different, and you int. And your presentation layer is no longer dependent on your model. So when you come to this place, instead of returning this data to the user, we can do view user from passed this, and this is what we are returning. So if we start the server again, reload the page, you see our presentation layer is different from the model. This is what you should do. Do not merge or put together the data from database and return that to the user. It's sometimes it creates a big mess for you, and if you have a huge code base, you have to do a lot of refactoring. All right, this is what I have to share in this video. There is a whole lot you can do. You can create different auto mapping or however you want to do it. But basically, the takeaway from here is this. Separate what you send to the user. Separate what your customers see from what is in your database. You don't want to share everything that's in your database. Another big advantage is sometimes you have data. Sometimes, for example, password. You have things here that you don't want to. I know, of course, you can come here and say, put a dash in the JSON, like here, like this. That you don't want to marshal this in JSON, but things can get a little bit tricky, So keep the data from the user separately from the one in your database. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoy my video, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to just like the video and help the channel, help me. Thank you.